Well, we can combine the ideas of political scientists Linz and Wintrobe into a matrix diagram. Here we introduce two axes, horizontal and vertical. Along the horizontal axis, we are concerned with the level of coercion and the toleration of alternative civic organizations. As you move to the right of the diagram, the regime becomes more coercive. Along the vertical axis, we are concerned with how significant ideology is and how important it is to mobilize support for the radical historicist aims of the regime. It is in this top right quadrant that we find the totalitarian regimes like Stalin's Russia and Hitler's Germany. Germany is less totalitarian largely because it has less control over the economy than Stalin's command economy and because the church is tolerated. In the bottom right quadrant, we have what Wintrobe calls tyrants. These are coercive regimes where ideology is of little importance. These we might expect to be short-lived, typically military dictatorships, like the one in Greece in 1968. In the top left quadrant, we have regimes in which ideology is important and where the public are engaged, but in which coercion is not important or not possible. Wintrobe calls these sorts of rulers timocrats, from the ancient Greek for love, timos. Regimes that come to power after popular revolutions can be found here. Cuba in 1959 is perhaps a good example, but one that quickly moves across the coercion axis as time passes. Which brings us to the main value of this matrix. It allows us to recognize that authoritarian states change over time and that where they have been placed on this diagram represents only a moment in time. Take, for example, Franco's Spain, which after the Civil War and with European-wide popularity of fascism at its height, might have been placed in the totalitarian quadrant. But over time, as fascism is defeated and the Spanish fascists lose influence, and as other civic actors begin to exercise influence, we see Franco's regime move into the pragmatic, low coercion quadrant of tin pot military dictatorships.